Hello, and welcome to your review before you take your Appendix 6 test. So we're going to go through one problem each of everything that you will be seeing on the test. All right, first, we need to find the x and y intercepts. Okay, so what is the x-intercept, what is the y-intercept, and then we'll graph. All right, remember when you're looking for the x-intercept, we put a 0 in for y. So now 4 times 0 is 0. So we end up with a negative 5x equals 40. So we're going to divide by negative 5. And your x-intercept is negative 8. So remember, you go to your x-axis and count out negative 8. So remember, your x-axis is horizontal. Oops. All right, now we have to go in and we need to do the same thing, and this time we're going to find the y-intercept. So when you're looking for the y-intercept, the x value is 0. So when we put a 0 in here, negative 5 times 0 is 0, so this cancels out. So 4y equals 40. And how do we move that 4 away? We divide by 4. So the y-intercept is 10. So go to the y-axis, 10, and connect them. Make sure you put arrows on the end of all of your lines on the test. All right, so we have your x-intercept at negative 8 and your y-intercept at 10. All right, graphing. So we have to be careful here when we graph and you do slope. You have to remember that they're opposites of each other. So this is x, this is y. This is your x-axis, this is your y-axis. So along x, we need to go 1, 2, 3 negative, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this point right here is our negative 3, 6. This is where we're starting. Now make sure you use your slope to find another point. Use slope, 1 over 5. So the number on top tells us what we're going to go up or down, and because it's positive, we're going to go up. And then on the bottom, we either go left or right, and because it's positive, we are going to go right. So from the point that you graphed, count up 1 and then right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Up 1, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And make sure you connect these dots and put arrows on the end. So start at the point and then use your slope to find more points. All right, write an equation in point-slope form that has a slope of negative 7 and goes through the ordered pair. So remember, this is slope, this is x, and this is y. So we have y. So where do we write y? So do we write a plus 10 or a minus 10? And then the next blank comes your slope, which I sometimes leave blank because paying attention to parallel and perpendicular lines. But this one, they just tell us the slope is negative 7, so we're going to fill that in. And x. Now our x value was a negative 5, and if we see a negative 5, we're going to put in a plus 5. So this is all they're asking us, is to take that equation, the numbers, and write it in point-slope form. All right, write an equation of a line parallel to through a point. So this is one where we need 4 lines. Okay, we're going to do point slope, then we're going to distribute, then we're either going to add or subtract, and then this will be your final equation. Okay, so now let's read this very carefully. Okay, are they wanting us to write a parallel or perpendicular? So in here it says parallel. And what do we know about parallel lines? Parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, so let's start with point slope. This is x, this is y. So it's y minus 8 equals, and let's leave that blank for our slope, And now we have x, and because this is a minus 2, I'm going to write a plus 2. Now, where do we get the slope? We get the slope from the equation. And what is the slope of this equation? Is it -5 or 7? -7. The slope is a -5. And what did we say about parallel lines? Parallel lines have the same slope. So because this is a -5, we're going to put in a -5. Now we're going to distribute. So y minus 8 equals a -5 times x is minus 5x. Now what number are we going to write next when we distribute? A -5 times 2 is a -10. Now we're going to add 8. So y equals -5x minus 2. Now, a question on the test might say, what is the y-intercept of the parallel line? So y-intercept of parallel line. So the line that's parallel is going to be this new equation that we just came up with. And what is the y-intercept? It is a -2. All right, our last problem here for the review is write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form that is perpendicular. So make sure you're reading to do perpendicular. So remember, this is your slope. This is a y-intercept. This is an x value, and that's a y value. So we're going to use the point to start off in point slope. So y. What number do we put in next? 3, 9, -18, 4. And because this says 4, we're going to write -4. I'm going to leave my slope open, and it's y. Because this is -18, I'm going to write a plus 18. All right, now I'm going to go focus on my slope. I find the slope of from the equation here, and our slope is 3. Now remember, if it's perpendicular, we have to do 2 things. We have to have the opposite sign. So this slope is positive, so we need negative. Okay, and then the second thing we need to do is flip it. Now remember, if this is a 3, what do we write underneath it to help? 3 over 1. So when we flip it, it becomes 1 over 3, and remember, we need it to be negative. So our slope is going to be a -1/3. All right, now we are going to distribute. So we have -1/3 x. And now what do we get when we distribute and multiply these together? A negative times a positive is a negative, and we get 6. All right, now we're going to add 4. So y equals -1/3 x minus 2. All right, that's it. So good luck on your Appendix 6 test.